We'll be recording so that we'll be able to post so that other individuals will be able to join or be able to watch later. I am truly hoping that all of you who have gotten messages from other individuals who might actually be having trouble getting in will be able to assist them getting in. And let me just start by saying that my name is Jabari El-Saze. I am actually the co-chief priest of the Shrine of Ma'at. And as I said before, a member of the Shrine of Ptah, raised in the Shrine of Ptah under the auspices of our elder Baba Heru Ankh Ra Samad Se Ptah. And so before we say anything, can we have permission from our elder to begin the memorial for our brother Heru David?
I give assent, and we ask Sanjari the Seshur of the Temple of Anu, Ra Sanku Kapir and Mbara Ma'at presiding, to read one of the greatest compositions known as the Hotep Benasut. He will give you an explanation of this divine scripture, and he will proceed to read. Sanjari Ankra.
Our brother Sanjari, please, you have the floor.
Okay, here we are. All right, everyone can hear me loud and clear. So I shall read. Hotep Dinasut, Asar Neb Jedu, Ptah Neb and Ankh, Ptah Neb Kedut, Disanu, Peret Keru, Ka Tau, Ka Henkut, Ka Kau, Ka Abadu, Ka Shesu, Ka Menkut, Ket Nebet, Neferet, Wabet, Anket Necharim, Kaini, Imaku, Heru Dawi, Ma'akaru, 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 Ma'akaru. Translation is thus: an offering for which the king gives to Asar, the lord of Jedu, the master of Jedu, to Ptah, the master of life, to Ptah, the master of the designer's room, the craftsman's room, that they may be given a voice offering of 1,000 bread, 1,000 jugs of beer, 1,000 of oxen, 1,000 birds, 1,000 of linen, 1,000 of alabaster, and all good and pure things to which the nature lives, for the spirit of Inkaini, to Imaku, the venerated, the honored one, Heru David, Ma'akaru, 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 Ma'akaru. He is victorious. He is victorious, victorious. He is true of voice, true of voice, true of voice, true of voice. Duanetter, 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 Duanetter.
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 Duanetter. And dua to our dear brother Sanjari Ankh Ra, the Sesh, the honored scribe of the Temple of Anu, for reading the voice offering for our dear brother. It is in voice offering that our ancestors remind us of the immortality of the soul. That while we may all feel a bit downtrodden today because Heru David is not in physical form, we must remember that he is an immortal soul, that he would be nowhere else other than here. And so we pay homage to his soul, we give offering to him as he is now a glorious ancestor. Can we please continue with words from our dear elder, Baba Heru Ankh Ra Samad Se Ptah, the keeper of the Shrine of Ptah, the elder of the Shrine of Ma'at, and the elder of the Kemetic tradition here in the West.
Etepu.
Etepu.
In honor of his beloved parents who gave him the name David Remy, it calls to mind what I read in Sunday school that the young David was a warrior. And so when David Remy joined my class of Chemetics 101, he, like so many other of the students, took on the title Heru, which means the warrior, the one who comes to bring truth and ma'at, righteousness, balance, and order, and to give to our people the gift of the truth that's been hidden from them for so long a time. A people, an African people who have been defamed and slandered as heathens and pagans. Even though the Bible shows, for those who believe in its literal translation, that it was the Africans of the Nile, now miscalled Egyptians, known as the Kemetiu, who opened their doors to a starving Abraham and Sarah, who fished the prophet Moses out of the waters of the Nile and brought him up into the culture of Ma'at within the house of the king, with the ethical codes, the 42 ethical codes of Ma'at. It was these same divine ancestors who are so defamed and slandered, who opened their doors to rescue Yeshua, Jesus, from the wrath of Herod. And yet all we hear is how they worship animals, how they worship many gods, all of which are misapplications of the truth. So I would like to read to you the vision that our ancestors have of who we are in spirit and in truth. This is known as a divination of the body members, because according to our ancestors, every limb of our divine body is covered with a divine neteru, or angelic force. I will begin to read, and I will read this in English so that everyone can understand the beauty with which our ancestors viewed our divine body temple. I am the divine knot within the olive tree, beautiful of splendor more than yesterday. I am the divine knot within the olive tree, doubly beautiful of splendor more than yesterday. I am Ra, who established those who praise. I am the knot within the tamarisk tree, beautiful of splendor more than yesterday. Ra has gone forth, and therefore I go forth. Going forth on this day, my hair is of Nu, the primordial waters. My face is of Ra. My two eyes are of Heru. My two ears are of Apwat. My nose is of Kent Shepus. My lips of Anpu. My teeth are of Kepera. My neck is of Ast, the divine lady. My two hands of Kenemu, the molder of form, Lord of Tattoo. My forearms are of Nit, the defender of the northern region of our nation, with her bows and arrows. My backbone is of Sut, which means I am stable. My phallus and my privy parts are of Ast and Asar. My reins, my kidneys of the laws of Keraba. My chest inspires terror. My belly and my back are of Seket, and my buttocks of the eye of Heru. My ancestors were even saying then, watch your back. My hips and my legs are of Nut. My feet are of Ptah, the foundation. My fingers and my leg bones and my toes are the living Aratu. Not a member of me is without divinity. Tehuti, divine neter of wisdom and the word, protects my flesh entirely. I am like Ra every day. Therefore, I shall not be seized by my arms. nor shall I be carried away by my own hand. Neither men nor Neteru, shining ones, the dead, ancient ones, evil ones, racist ones shall do any harm unto me. I come forth advancing, and I know my name. I am yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Seer of millions of years is my name, traveling along the way of Heru, the light. Hetepu.
Hetepu, Hetepu, Hetepu. Dua divine thanks to our elder Baba Heru Ankh Ra Samad Se Pata. Of course, with all of the people that have gathered here, we would not be gathered were it not for his journey and bringing us to the legacy of ancient Kem. And so dua once more to our elder for saying these words and for guiding our dear brother Heru David all these years.
May I make one practice? I did not guide them to the legacy. Our elder scholars and historians did that. What I brought was the practice and application of the inspiration of the truth that they brought to us. Dr. Ben, Dr. Clark, Ivan Van Servan, all the great ones. Carry on.
And of course, he's going to be humble because that is how elders who are in the tradition must be. And we know that all of those great ones certainly brought us knowledge of the history of Kemet. But of course, our elder is the chief practitioner. And that is how we now live in the tradition. Wat Ma'at, the tradition of Ma'at. So dua once more, Baba, dua once more. One of the things that you might have known about our dear brother is that he was a member of the Order of the Divine Sacred Kingman. Can I have all of the Divine Sacred Kingmen? Now we're going to do this virtually, so some of you are going to beat me up for a moment. Can all of the Divine Sacred Kingmen raise their hands just as I have? Can all of those people who are of the Divine Sacred Kingmen raise their hands as I have? You can raise it if you're on camera, or you can simply touch the small hand that's on the bottom of your screen so that we can know that his order is here to remember him and to ensure that the boat of Ra is not rocked by a wave as he makes his journey into the afterlife. And I would like to ask that all of the Divine Sacred Kingmen think about how they can assist our dear brother on this journey. But I would like to ask our brother Heru Kwesi if he might say a word. If he might say a word on behalf of the Divine Sacred Kingmen. I'm hoping that Heru David's sister is also still on. Our dear sister Magali, I'd like to come to you next if possible. But at this point, I'd like to hear some words from our dear brother, Heru Kwesi.
Hetepu, everyone.
Hetepu.
It's been a difficult time, me just trying to get through the fact that David is gone. It's, between myself and a few of the other Kingmen, that because we were the first Kingman class, it has been, something that we've been talking about and amongst ourselves, and it's truly unbelievable because we always looked at him as our scribe. We would sit down, we'd have conversations for sometimes 5, 6, 7, 8 hours just about the legacy alone, and the ability that he had to link so much. He was what I would consider to be a true scribe. The amount of information that he had in his mind that he could link with everything that was going on, and could cultivate and explain to you in the most detailed form. It was amazing to me and so many other people, and that's what brought people to him. Other than that, we remained all these years. We remained close. We remained, I would myself and a few other brothers always kept in contact with him. After his mom passed, he was very much depressed for a little while, and we stayed in contact with him, made sure that he was fine, made sure he was okay. Reached out to him on a regular basis. So when this happened, it was very shocking for all of us. It's still shocking to me to this day. But on behalf of the Kingmen, it's one of those things that we've lost a great warrior, and I'm sure many of you who knew him would feel the same way. Dwanter.
Dwanter.
If I may, I know there are those who are asked what happened. Several divine friends, myself and so many others included, called Heru while he was going through the difficulty and begged him, please, to seek medical attention. He said, it is every man's duty to carry his own weight. And he refused. He utterly refused. And his dear friend, Tony from the Carrot Gem, one of our merchants from whom we purchased our precious stones, called him personally and begged him, please go. And several others asked him, please go. He utterly refused. So we want to make that quite clear. Every effort was made to assist him, and he refused. So I need to make that clear.
We have lost so many people during this pandemic, and we want to be very clear that the cause of his transition is a virus, and that we just want to be very clear that we have lost many wonderful people, but we must remember that they are still with us, and we must ask for our Neteru to give us the ability to properly commune with them. All of you who knew Heru David know that he would be no other place than here. So you should expect that he is here with us now, communing with us now. We only ask the Neteru to give us the empowered senses to speak more clearly with him. And so at this point, I would like to see if I could ask the sister of Heru David, Sister Magali, to come forward and say a word if she is able. Sister Magali, might you say a word to the gathering about your brother?
I can. Excuse me.
With you, sister.
So many of you spoke about how steadfast he was in his beliefs, and to share that with whoever came in his path. He had this incredible ability to see the good in everyone that he worked with, everyone that he met. We like to say that he got that from our mother. And I'm thanking you all for letting me know that he was as loved in this community as he was by his own family, his blood relatives. And that him sharing space with you meant something, meant an incredible amount to you. And I hope there was no understanding that there was any blame. They believed in what he believed, and that was that. And I believe that his ascension is the way it was meant to be. So, but again, thank you for taking the time to honor him this way.
Yes. Yes.
Magali, I need to let you know that shortly after the death of your mother, Heru, your brother, came to me and he said, you know, Baba, you've been my teacher for years. He says, I'm asking you formally to be my spiritual father. I said, I will offer you nothing less, my beloved brother. Like father and son, sometimes we went back and forth, and sometimes we would be pissed off at each other. Next day, he will come in with some salad or a piece of fruit for me. He was always turning the page. He never carried any weight. And that was a lesson for me being a Leo. So I'm so grateful to have known him, to have him by my side so many times. Sometimes when people would come in here, some of the street brothers in a threatening way, he would just coolly get up and come from behind the curtain back there. And when they saw him standing so strong and majestic, they would melt like butter. That was the kind of force that this brother had. And everybody knows that Heru was no pushover.
Dua, 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 Baba, and dua, our sister Magali. Remember, we know that you had the honor of being his blood sister, but today you have so many more brothers and sisters. We are here to assist in any way we can. We loved him dearly, and by extension, we love you. And so if there's anything that we can do, please know that we are nothing more than a phone call, a text, an email, a smoke signal away. Just let us know and we will come running, and you'll be stunned how many people will come running. Because Heru David was not just important to us, but he was a central point in our community.
Sure.
Having
Yes, he was.
his physical transition is difficult for us all, but we know that he will be able to do more as a glorious ancestor than he would ever have been able to do as a physical being. And so, dua to you, Sister Magali, Elder Baba Heru. At this
Spirit is real.
point, I would like to go to the co-chief priest of the Shrine of Ma'at, Anika Daniels Osaze Nfraka Ma'at, to speak on behalf of the Shrine of Ma'at. While we continued to ask our dear brother to come to the Shrine of Ma'at, we viewed him as a member because we would routinely ask him about the steps that the Shrine of Ma'at would make. He had been our brother in the tradition for so long that we valued his counsel. When we thought we were going to do something, we would ask Heru David's guidance. And if you knew Heru David, he would give you a master's thesis. So we thought so highly of him. In a few moments, we'll also play a clip of him on our TV show where he was assisting the masses of people in understanding Kemetic myth. But before any of that, I am honored to be able to ask the chief priest, the co-chief priest of the Shrine of Ma'at, Anika Daniels Osaze, also known as Nfraka Ma'at, to say a word on behalf of the Shrine of Ma'at.
Hetetsu, everyone. Sorry, Hetetsu, everyone. It's so wonderful to see all of you, Anka Ma'at. I want to extend my love, my myrrh to the sister Magali. You know, I know this is a challenging time for you. I've had a lot of loss in my family, so I can understand and feel what you are feeling at this time. And I open my arms to you for anything that can be done on behalf of your family through the Shrine of Ma'at. Heru David was our brother. He was someone, and he is, you know, he still exists with us. You know, in our tradition, people tend to not just disappear. If you continue to call their names, they will continue to exist. So that's why we wanted to have this ceremony for him, because he is true of voice. He is Ma'at Heru, and he's deserving of having his name go on in infamy, you know, in eternity. So we all want to continue to say his name so that we can continue to have him live on with us. Heru David was someone, if you knew him, he was an artist. He loved to draw. He loved his comic books. He loved his stories, and he loved to tell stories. Being with Heru David, you needed to have a few hours.
That's right.
Because he was going to tell you from beginning to end in detail all of the thoughts that he had. And he's someone who thought very often in solace. He thought deeply. He read tremendously. I can't tell you how many books he's read. And all he ever wanted to do was share his knowledge with the community. He wanted to share all that he knew. He wanted to share all of who he was. So if you've ever had any contact with him, whether you knew him intimately or if he was just someone that you met a few minutes ago, he was going to share all of he could with you at that very moment, to try to impart some knowledge onto you, to make sure that you had a better day than you did yesterday. So we completely mirror him, because we know that he was always trying to improve upon himself and improve upon the community. He was meticulous in his work. He worked in solace. And I think for some of us, we didn't understand always why he worked alone, but we realized that he always tried to work in greatness. And we always wanted to try and embrace him as much as we could, and to make sure that he was always part of this community, and he knew that we were all there for him. So I mean, if you just look at all the people that are here on this call today, you will see how much he is loved, how much we mirror him, how much he meant to the people in this community, and how many people he's touched. Anyone who has gotten a piece of sa or joyery from Baba Heru has a piece of Heru David with them.
That's right.
He blessed every piece. He touched every piece that you wear on you right now. He prayed on your pieces.
Ashe.
So not one person who has any piece from that studio is going to go without having Heru David with them. His ka lives on. And I'm blessed to say I have a lot of ka. So a lot of his soul, a lot of his sa. I will have all of these pieces to remember him by. I remember even with my ankh, I was constantly having difficulty keeping the stone in place towards the end. And Baba Heru asked if he could help wrap the wire around the bottom of my ankh. And I think about his hands on my ankh, and the last thing that I can always hold as a memory of him. Every time I hold up my ankh, I know that he was a part of this making. He was a part of making sure that I can keep on holding on to my crystal, and that he was able to wrap it for me. So he's always going to be a part of me. He's going to be a part of everyone on this call. And we want to just say that we admire him so much. Our sister and brother from Ghana, Kenya, and Charles Schaefer created a song for him. And I want to play that for you as a member of a remembrance of him, a part of his legacy, so people can see how much he really has touched our souls. So I'm going to play that for you, and then I'm going to turn it back over to Jabari to continue the program.
Hmm?
can't hear anything. We cannot hear anything.
Peppy, we can't hear it. It's not loud enough or clear enough.
Okay. Okay. Some people are saying they can't see it. Hear well. Okay, we're going to try to replay it. I apologize for that.
So we're going to work on that. What we will do at this point is we'll show you a brief video. We want to actually let you see Heru David in his glory. He was on the show Comedic Legacy today, and we want you to see his mastery, his understanding of the legacy, his understanding of the tradition of our way. And so please take a listen to Heru David explain some of the greatest Kemetic myth. Oh, more audio issues. Give me 1 second. Unmute.
You've come here from creating these emblems of culture, creating these images that attract people to Kemetic culture. And so we believe that you are one of the best people to come in to discuss this topic that we're discussing today, which is sacred myth, sacred wisdom.
Mine, I get to assert some humility that I am not as of yet the one responsible for the creations that you would see if you were to check the website of the Studio of Ptah. Of the works, those are chiefly done by Baba Heru and Ptah. But I say that I contribute, to the spaces, the maintaining of the order of, knowing what particular stones would go with certain pieces, and as far as the polishing and the other work, so it takes in time.
You're being humble. You are his right hand.
Well,
he's being humble. That's wonderful. And Baba Heru has actually been on the show as well. So viewers will know that they've had an opportunity to speak to him about his life, to hear about his life. And so certainly they'll be able to make the connection about the important work that he's doing and the important role that you've done with assisting him in bringing forth those creations. So thank you once again.
Thank you.
Thank you. So today we're going to be discussing sacred myths, sacred wisdom. And what do we mean when we say sacred myths, sacred wisdom? Essentially, people usually believe that myth is something that is not true. And so often when you talk to people about their spiritual beliefs, about their faiths, they'll often say to you,
said to be derived from its Greek ancestor, mythos. The very Greek word mythos is derived from the ancient African Kemetic Nubian word of metu, or some dialects say medu or medet, which literally is the representation of the clarity of thought through word, the spoken word, as well as the written word. And what I found in the relationship of myth to its ancient Kemetic source in Metu, one finds that myth, the whole concept of mythology is that you're given a narrative which is laid out with symbolic representations of so-called deities or spiritual forces, which are usually anthropomorphized or using animals, animal forms, not to be literal in thinking, it is a talking lion.
That's right.
But the concept of the the principles that are inherent in allowing in the form of its might, its power, which can be conveyed as the same qualities that would be possessed within a human being, such as courage in endeavor.
That's right. That's right. That's right. And often people who are more familiar with the myth of the three major religions today become uncomfortable sometimes when they see some of these symbols, particularly in Kemetic art. So, for example, we always have our set Heru down. Heru was always present on our set.
So I just want you to get a taste of Heru David. He was one of the most erudite minds. He was one of those individuals who thought very deeply and was always willing to share whatever he possibly could, whatever he had learned, whatever he thought could assist you on your way. There were a few times that Heru David, knowing that I was having some challenges, would leave me messages on my cell phone. By the way, you should know that that was a long message, but I would listen to every moment of it because he thought that he might have just a little inclination to assist me. And after giving me guidance or assistance, or at least just commiserating with me, he would say, well, this is just a few things that I thought of. I know that you've thought of so many more, and because he was also very humble. And so Heru David was so important to all of us, so important in the application of the tradition. And we will certainly miss his physical form, but we will continue to celebrate, to valorize him as a glorious ancestor. I'd like to know if there are others of you that would like to say something about our dear brother. Could you?
Is my son Supernova present? Supernova Slam, Elaton.
What I'd like as Supernova is getting ready, could you please just let us know in the chat that you'd like to say something so that we can call on you? And if Supernova is here, we would love to hear from our dear brother Supernova as well.
Ashe. Tuan Tur.
Tuan Tur.
Yes, yes. Nuku nuku amiku kemam keperu imint you Tuan. Yes. Heru David, such a powerful carrier of the attribute Heru. Definitely for our family, beautiful, amazing brother, how he really was a steward of the Kemetic legacy and really helped our father, Baba Heru, at the highest level of support. And he really was genuine, had a genuine love for everyone in this community, seen and unseen. He really, really cared for everybody and everybody's well-being. So for us just to continue to walk in our Heru, to really affirm our Heru with each other. And when we have a transition like this with a real icon in the community, a real luminant one, it's just a reminder for the remaining Herus in the physical to continue to pour into each other, stay in tune, and find ways as a conduit of inspiration to keep his legacy alive by continuously supporting each other. So we honor the tribe. We honor all of you all for holding such sacred space. We honor his sister, and we put a covering on each other in honor of him. And definitely for my father, Baba Heru, I just want to say for all the family here, all 70 something of us and many more that will probably play back, please, this is coming from me directly. Y'all have been touching base with Baba and pouring into him. Continue to do so, and that's what Heru David would have wanted. Baba's in a place of immense power and maintenance, and he just needs to know that we're here and support while he is grieving his spiritual son. And like our beloved Jabari Osazi said about just continuing to support his sister and each other in honor of Heru David. So I murder you all, Dua and Tur. And I'm gonna salute as I came in. I'm gonna leave the same way. Nuku amiku kemam keperu imint you to our Ma'at Mur. Yes.
Dua once again to Supernova Slav, who is now holding up the other side of the country. It is wonderful
Yes.
that we heard his voice. And I think
Yes.
we also
Yes.
see
I said,
our dear brother Ali coming on. Brother Ali, did you want to say something? And
Yes.
after that, we will go to our brother and sister from the Akoma House Initiative. We will go to Mancho and Nawasha Edu. We would be remiss if we didn't hear their voices today. So, brother Ali, did you want to say something?
Yes, Baba, do I have permission to speak?
Yes, you do.
Let me open up by saying, give thanks to the ancestors, those that have preceded us. Give thanks to Heru David as now an ancestor returning. He's now an ancestor, and we pull on his energy and spirit at the highest level. We love you, brother. We thank you. We appreciate you at the highest level. Give thanks. Give thanks for the whole community for being here and galvanizing for our divine brother, all the shrines, all the initiates. We don't always come together as a community, but this should be a spark to encourage us, if not often, but at least once a season, right? To continue to unify from all walks of life and all around the world. Let me further, I want to share something from Hosea. But first, before I even utter any further words, I want to take this opportunity to, I'm about to come into social media, launch my website, doing a few things. Upon me serving for 16 years with the family legacy, there are people in the circle that I have hurt through my words. There are people in the circle that I have been intense with. I know I've heard stories. I know what has come back to me. So I cannot speak of the Hosea to Heru David without first cleansing my mouth and cleansing the way. Otherwise, what I say right now will not be received from the community. So let me take this opportunity to say to the community, for those that I've offended in my 16 years of leadership at any moment in this Tawi era and in the era after, if I at any moment I have hurt you or offended you, disrespected you, I fell short in those years. And I receive at the highest level. And so before I recite this piece from Hosea, do you accept my restoring of Ma'at to you? And most importantly, to Brother Luquan Leap and his daughters, who we came into a misunderstanding some years ago. If he's on the line, I would like to apologize in front of the whole community, specifically, okay? And anybody else that I've offended, I restore Ma'at at the highest level. And I only want to be better. I turned 40 in January. And I just want to, if you can receive me from a spiritual plane, or if you will give the words, give thanks. But I have to let the record show, before I read from Hosea, I want you to be able to receive me, not from a place of old alley, but from a place of my higher level. Give thanks and praise. So you can unmute and say whatever you like to say, or you can allow me to read. I'm going to begin reading, unless someone would like to say something at this moment.
Brother Ali, please continue.
Okay, give thanks, give thanks. So, this is from the Hosea. This is in the chapter of the book of Rising and Transformation. How beautiful to behold, and how wonderful to witness. So say the powers of heaven, when this royal vindicated one rises in the sky. When you, O vindicated one, ascend in the sky with your power upon you, your awe around you, and your words of power at your feet. The powers of heaven and of earth come to you. They make supports for you upon their arms. May you ascend unto the sky and rise up and on the divine ladder, for Ra says, the heavens and earth are giving to you. Behold, you have become the enduring bull among the wild bulls set against the evil one. Endure, the last old enduring bull, that you may prevail at the head of them and at the head of those spirits forever and ever. Kum Ra, Kum Ra, Kum Heru Ra, Kum Heru Heru Ra Ra, Kum Ra Ra Ra, Kum Heru Ra, Kum Heru Heru Ra Ra. The mystery of the hidden sun is revealed to my face. The mystery of the hidden sun is revealed to my face. Give thanks and praise. Hotep.
Salute, King.
Dua, my brother. Dua,
Hotep.
dua.
Received.
Dua, dua, dua. And you can see that our brother
Dua.
Leak has received it. Dua to you.
Thank you, Luquan. Thank you. And share that with your daughters. Thank you, brother.
Yes.
Salute,
Dua,
King.
dua.
Salute.
At this point, I would love to go to that magnificent divine couple. Sometimes we just refer to them by one name. But today we will speak both of their names, our dear brother Mancho and our dearest sister Nawasha. We know that you are out doing the work, and we also know that you would be no other place than here. Could you please share a bit for us today on the legacy of our dear brother Heru?
Twanter, can everyone hear us?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
I hear you, King. Go ahead.
We'd like to give our duas to Baba. We were just talking about you last night. It's so good to see you. We love you, and we're coming to see you very soon. We were in New York City yesterday doing a documentary about the legacy of Smai Tawi with the Houthi Films, and it was like coming back to the temple as we did for 12 years straight, coming from New Jersey, 3.5 hours from where we are. We are not in New York, but the temple is in us forever. We say that we are forever, we are lifetime members of the Shrine of Ptah and of Smai Tawi, Heal Thyself, Know Thyself Center. To all of my kingmen in the first initiatory class, I say, Nukpu Inter Heru Cha. We live forever. Luke Quantum Leap, it's good to see you, brother. I love you so much. And many of the kingmen, Kwesi, that I don't see often because I'm not in New York, it's just good to see your face. Supernova, Ali, Jabari, and Anika I see often, but those brothers that I spent so much time with during those years, it's just good to see you all. I just want to say that as we prepared to March 4th, 22 years ago, and we prepared to do our dramatizations of the gateways to Sebget, Baba Heru told us to think deeply about what we wanted to share with someone who may never seen the legacy before. I was blessed that I was in the Sebget presentations with Luke Quantum Leap, with Heru David 2 times, as we did Tahuti together, and we were in the Sebget of Heru. And it was in that planning time, because everyone was new to me at that time. I'm coming from Trenton, New Jersey, which is really on a half day of traffic, it's 3 hours away from Brooklyn. So, you know, just to get to know everyone on a deeper level was amazing. But during that time of planning, I was able to see how beautiful a mind that Heru David had, right? And it's so amazing that he would, Sanjeti would be a part of this opening, because Nawasha and I, we in a car, so we're traveling. But Nawasha and I always say that that same spirit that's in Sanjeti, like it was Heru David's spirit, you know, that kind of pensive energy. But in preparing for the Sebget presentation, Heru David, he just shared so much wisdom with me that I was literally awestricken by what he knew, because I was studying hard and I was in awe of Baba Heru. But here was a peer that seemed to know so much stuff that it was like really, really a moment of scope review, where I was able to see that there's 360 degrees inside, outside, under and overstanding to this legacy. And it was at that moment that I knew that this would be a lifetime endeavor. There's so much that I could say, but this brother, the word that comes to my mind was one of the kindest people that I've ever met. And the Washer said something about his temperament, and I'll let her speak that, and then we'll move on to allow someone else to speak.
Heru David is connected to my absolute favorite memory of Comedics 101. He is forever cemented in my heart and in my mind, and has taught me so much. The presence that I spoke about was his ability to be very gentle with his information, but still very strong. So 20 years ago, I said something about being nice. And he said, "Oh, no, you don't want to use that word," and taught me about really a deeper understanding of etymology. And I quote that to this day, but it also inspired me to know the languages that I speak, to know the languages better, to really say what I actually mean and not just repeat expressions and repeat things that other people have said and take it on, but to actually know for myself what I'm saying. And that is something that has endured off of that one small conversation. I have not used that word nice. Don't tell my children to use it in the way that people normally position it. And I've taught my students that. So for the last 20 years, that simple conversation where I said, that would be nice, turned into, you know what, I'm never going to say that again in this way. And I'm going to make sure that not only with that, but I'm open to questioning other things that I've just accepted and gotten from someone without knowing what it is that I'm taking in. And that has left such an impression on me for the last 20 years. But Heru David also taught us one of our maybe 2 weeks inside of Comedics 101 where Baba Heru was traveling. And this is my absolute most precious, favorite, hilarious memory of being in Comedics 101. We were working really hard on our heart work and looking up information. We had to translate certain glyphs and passages and come to a deeper understanding. And Heru David was so patient with us as our substitute teacher. And he was so kind and so generous. And I felt that we should be honoring him more and offering him a lot of respect for filling in. And I wasn't certain that was actually happening in the moment, right? When Baba Heru came back from traveling and we had a question about the Mesu Heru, Heru David had given us so much information. But when Baba Heru came back and said, "Oh, you have a question about the Mesu Heru?" I think people wanted him to go into more than what Heru David had given us, which was so much and the most that you could have given us. He just said, "Heru David, dim the lights," and got out the guitar and sung a song about the Mesu Heru. This is my absolute favorite memory from Comedics 101, which might not seem like it's really about Comedics 101 or about the research or about the study, but that shift as Heru David gave you everything that you needed to have in order to process the information. All that's left is to sing the song and put the capstone on this experience. And it is forever. Mansho and I talk about Heru David multiple times per year off of just those couple of interactions that I had. And just, he's almost like an archetype for me of the ultimate, in presence and in, as Mansho said, temperament and grace as a masculine kind of energy. I just feel that it's such a barometer of what I appreciate and what I know to be the kind of teacher that I would love and follow and respect. And I think that I know he will continue to be that for me, this archetype of leadership and grace. And I am just moved and touched. I'm so honored that we have the opportunity to come together and say his name together and continue to say his name into the future as we go in our separate ways on our journey, forever connected, forever in Ma'at, forever in peace, forever in myrrh.
Where is Elijah Nagasti? Elijah Nagasti.
I'm right here. I'm right here.
The prerogative of the elder is to make you speak.
Yeah, I was waiting for this, but I don't know how to start this, but I don't know. Well, I gotta say I don't know about anybody else, but my relationship with David was very special because I'm gonna be very frank. He was always in the back, so I was always curious, who's this guy? And every time me and Bob and Sakai would have like interesting conversations, he'll chime in, And then from there I just started developing a relationship with David. You know, he was into comic books, he's into all this different type of stuff. We'll talk about movies. And then yeah, I just became super cool with him. I just felt, you know, despite whatever relationship with all three of them, it just I kind of like David a lot because I felt he was very misunderstood, and you know, I feel like, you know, it's good to have a relationship with someone who maybe some people don't really communicate because he's always in the back, he's working, or he's always like, you know, hiding. So David, he was super interesting. He was just, you know, he's a, you know, a character, and yeah, he was just he was a, yeah, he was a wild dude. Yeah, I call him like the mad scientist. Like that's what I used to tell
Yes.
Sakar. Yeah, we used to call him the mad scientist. I'm like, that's literally what I call David, the mad scientist. And he always had this idea. It's like, yo, like a few times he would tell me like, yeah, like you could take garlic and he mixed it with some other herbs, and then he got sick, and then he was just like, yeah, but then I survived, and then he's just telling me stories, and we're all looking at him crazy, like this guy just be taking things and, you know, making big experiments at his house. And yeah, he was just a whole character, David, like, you know, and he's super intelligent. And that's the thing, you know, everyone came to Baba, you know, Baba's the GOAT, of course, he's, you know, that's the Baba. But I always said like, yo, David, you know, had the intelligence too, like whatever
Very much
Bob
so.
Baba didn't have if Baba didn't have time to really communicate, you had to speak to, well, in my experience, you had to speak to David, because David had it too, just as much. And you know, of course, I mean, he's working with Baba, like this guy has so much stuff, so he'll break down like words. Even my friend is in here, Ophir, he's from Israel. He was breaking down the different languages of Hebrew, how this word with English, what it means, different things. Even I think a woman in here just spoke about the word nice. Like he like stuff like that. He always will like deliver information on. Like even the word nice means actually you're a mistress, or it means stupid, foolish, and then he'll bring up this another word from another language, like from Sumerian. Now they're using it in English as two different things, and how we shouldn't be using this. And then this guy was like a whole like
Encyclopedia.
yeah, like legit, like he was like a bookworm, like a whole, like this guy knew a lot, and he was a character, man. He was just, yeah, like, and I really did like him. And even like when Baba was doing his work, Mr. Kara and like David would just crack jokes and then like just laugh and then talk about things like certain concepts, and there's things that he didn't know what's going on, because I guess, you know, he's not in the loop. So I'll like, you know, introduce him to stuff, and then he'll ask me questions. He was very inquisitive as well. He knew a lot. And, you know, when Sakar and Baba called me, you know, that he passed, I was just like, oh man, because I really enjoy his company. I really, you know, I love him, man. He was like, that's the homie, and I really appreciate him. He, super. I feel like I always felt like you know, I even told Sakara, like, I wish, like, I could take him out somewhere, we can go, like, hang out. And she's like, you know, she even encouraged me, like, yeah, like, he needs that. And I wish, you know, I was able to do it, or if he, you know, had the interest to, you know, to see what's outside the studio. Like, hey, like, check this out. Like, you know, because he was a nerd, and, you know, I'm a little nerd too. So we was into almost the same thing. So, yeah, you know, nerds connect with nerds. So, yeah, I
Brilliant
mean,
nerds.
yeah, the cool nerds. And yeah, David, he was a special dude, man. And, you know, I was just, yeah, I literally cried when Baba and Sakara called me. I was just like, damn. And so you know, he's still the mad scientist to me. You know, that's the name. And, you know, he is a genius. And, you know, I still think geniuses live long despite as we use the term death, but I don't believe in death. I believe he transitioned, and wherever he's at, he's still being a mad scientist, creating, experimenting, and building for the community and for himself, and being the genius that he was and he still is. And I give praises to Baba and Sakar. I love both of you, and I know this is a rough, emotional time, and so yeah, you know, he's still in our prayers, and he's still with us in the
To
ethers. Right. So
give thanks.
Thank
Where
you.
is where's Tony from Carrot Gem?
Well, Baba, there are a few other people that have asked to speak.
Okay.
I know you would agree with, so I just know that you probably haven't seen the chat.
Yes,
If it's
well, I just need to hear from Tony from Carrot Gem, because he called Heru David several times while he was ill and begged him to go to a doctor. So I just needed to hear from him. If he's not here, okay, go forth, my brothers.
I'm here, Baba Haru.
Oh, yes.
I'm here.
Okay.
Listening to all you talk about how Heru David was, that's the same man that I see every day when he comes to the store. It's even when he walks through to different stores and talks to every other jeweler, they all say the same thing. He's a great man, he's a gentleman, and a smart man. Nobody ever has anything bad to say about him. And like you all said, if there's some misunderstanding or some trouble somewhere, he's always there to help people and try to make things right with other people so they won't be in any arguments or fights with everybody else. That was the man he was, you know? And like everybody says, you could talk to him for 5 seconds. That 5 seconds is going to turn into 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 1 hour. You could one thing leads to another, and you could talk to him forever because he's so knowledgeable. That's the whole thing about him. It's so many things about him that makes him great. And you know, when all the jewelers and heard that he passed away, everybody had the same thing. Like,
yes,
why did he pass away? Right? Why did someone that great had to leave us soon? But
true.
You know, it's like a lot of the jewelers are really sad by this. They still ask, you know, it's like, what happened? But like Baba Haru said, that's what he wanted to do. He didn't want to go to the hospital. He wanted to take care of himself. But that's the choice that he wanted to make. And that's why I didn't push him. You know, at the end of the day, that's so much that we all can tell him. But if that's what he wants to do, that's what he wants to do.
True.
But having everybody saying the same thing about Heru David means he's that great guy that everybody sees. Everybody sees the same thing. That's very rare in this world. That, you know, everybody that would say something about him would only say good things about him. You know.
True.
So that's what he is.
Yes.
And having this memorial, I'm glad that I'm part of this memorial because it's a lot easier to hear what everybody's saying, and everybody's saying the same thing, right? And everybody's here to listen to what, you know, their experiences with Heru David, right? And it's always the same thing, right? He's an easygoing guy that you can just strike up a conversation with him. You know, he every day he comes and he has a story for you that, you know, that he goes through. You know, some stories is not that great. Some stories is real funny, but he always has a story to tell. Each story has a message for you.
That's right.
If you look at it, each message does have a message for you. You know, I remember one time he told me that he was at the train station. He was racial profiled, right? But he was mad that there was another officer that is, you know, dark-skinned officer like him. But that goes to show you that, you know, he tells you like it is, and you know, it's tough for him. He goes through a lot of stuff every day. and having people around him, just allow him to vent. Also, it was great for him because he would say, "Hey, I just talked to this person. I just talked to that person," and it's tough. And like Heru Baba says, even if you disagree with him or if you have an argument with him, he'll come back to you, and he'll try to make amends, right? Because that's how he is. He doesn't try to hold grudges against you.
That's right.
Right? So every day it's always him saying venting, right? But venting is what gets everybody through.
True.
So that's what he taught me that too, right? And I just thank God Heru, Baba Heru for allowing me to join this memorial for him.
Good thanks.
Dua so much, Brother Tony.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
There are several people who would like to say something. I think the next person that we'll go to is our brother and author and just one of the folks that has thought deeply about our tradition, our brother Heru Tep. Sen Heru Tep, are you there? We'll come back to you. We'll certainly come back to you if you're able to come in. I also would like to see if I can go to our Kingman, Heru Unique, Imhotep.
Yes,
Heru
indeed.
Unique, can you please share something about our fellow Kingman, Heru David? We're not hearing you. Sometimes what you have to do is, oh, there you go. Speak a little bit more.
Oh, this is Interfied. I was just reminding everybody their mic is on.
Yes. Please make sure. Go ahead, and what you might do, as you see the microphone as the first icon on the bottom, sometimes you have to set up your mic if for whatever reason Google Meet did not recognize your mic right away. So we'll give you a moment to do that. I think I just saw our brother Heru Tep come back. Maybe we'll go back to him and then come to you, Heru Unique. Brother Heru Tep, are you there? Now I know I just saw you. There you go. There you go. Not hearing you either.
Make sure your mic is unmute, Heru.
He's not muted. We would see the mute signal. I think he has to set up his microphone.
Oh, it looks like he's muted.
Okay, so he's saying let's move forward and he'll set it up. The next person is our brother Chris. Brother Chris, please unmute and share.
Yeah. Hotel, all natural. I feel kind of out of place speaking here. I was invited. I didn't know the brother personally, but it just felt so good and overwhelming to be around Neteru again. And I read my Peru Tep. I feel blessed to see your face. Like your Comedic Soulism did something for me, Neteru. Like, and I got it from African World Books because they didn't have a Dr. Wade Noble's book that I wanted. And he looked at what I was ordering and he said, "Oh, Neteru, get this." And he sent me and changed my life. And it's just, I read about a collective conscience and I see it here. When I hear about the ancestor, the recent ancestor, all the elders that taught me and all the brothers that I called during Neteru to myself and I got murdered for it, I hear that in them. I seen that in them. And when I read that don't nothing truly die, that's why trees fall, I see, because all the brothers I know when he gone, y'all heard. And I just want to thank y'all for this moment. And I spoke too much, and I just want to thank y'all.
He's too happy.
No, Brother Chris, you did not speak too much. And I just need to say to you that you didn't need to necessarily be in Heru David's presence to feel his presence. And so we are honored that you've said something. Dua, 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 or spoken. Yes. Brother Mark Herutep, has your audio? No? Uh-oh. No, we're not hearing you still. Brother Heru Unique, are you able? Brother Heru. Sometimes what might help, by the way, is going out and coming back in. You know that old black solution? Turn it on and turn it off. Yes, that's what we used to do. And believe it or not, it is sometimes a good solution. It sometimes what happens is just one of the links, one of the connections doesn't work, and so going out and coming back in sometimes can assist. I also see that my sister Chasament has her hand raised. Did you want to say something? Please, sister.
I did. I hope y'all can hear me. I did.
Yes, we
you hear
can.
me?
Yes, we can.
Say something. So I wanted to piggyback off of something Priestess Anika said about the Joy Ellery and the energy that Heru David had behind each piece that we have. So once upon a time, I bought a pair of earrings that I saw all the other priestesses wearing, and I had them dipped in the finest gold, and I wanted them serviced by Baba, and I visited, and of course, Heru David had a way of service. The way that he took things from you and gave things to you is something that only made you feel royal. So I handed over my earrings, am chatting with Baba, and forgot to mention that these earrings were dipped in gold and not solid gold. Forgot that part. So all I could hear is the steamer in the back, and Heru Devi said, "Uh-oh." Uh-oh. And so Baba said, "Well, what happened? What now?" And so Heru David, in the sweetest, kindest, most respectful way, handed me these earrings here that are still tarnished, that I may or may not get dipped again, because they remind me of him, with the most respect, non-judgmental way that one could say, "Sorry, sister, I didn't know that these weren't all the way gold. I treated these like these were gold, because I know you got a good job." And Baba's always dragging me about doing things the right way and getting things done the right way. So Baba scoffed a little bit, but Heru David was so gentle and so kind, and he said, "Well, what would you like me to do?" And I'm mortified. I'm like, I forgot that they weren't full gold. Sorry, y'all. So I just wanted to lift that his service, the way that he treated you, even in a time of embarrassment like mine at that moment, is unforgettable. And the way that he would bow and just respect you and hold your presence the way that he did, I'll never forget it. And so, Baba, I may or may not redip these earrings, because now they're tarnished again. But that is what came to me, to shed light and a lighter energy on his energy in terms of service. So I thank you so much for this space.
Dua, 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 dua.
Whoa,
Dua, dua.
Queen Mother.
Yes, I think I see Queen Mother Imaku. I should ask where in the world she is, because we know that she has taken the tradition all over the globe. I had the honor of seeing her on the continent recently. Queen Mother, would you like to say something? Your presence, we're honored by your presence, even if you do not. But if you'd like to say something, you can unmute and say something.
Can you hear me?
And peace and blessings, Baba. It is my supreme honor to have talked to you this morning. I felt you in my heart and felt the need to connect with you. And then I found out about today. Incidentally, beloved Jabari, you didn't see me on the continent. I've been here in Newark, New Jersey.
What? Thought I saw you on the continent.
That was not me.
Dupliganga.
I have doppelgangers all over the place.
I waved to somebody that I thought was you. She probably said,
as long as they don't owe you money and I don't end up getting shot, I just wasn't me.
Well, I will say that It's been some time since we spent time together, since before
Yes,
the
it has. Give thanks and praise.
the last
Chapter-
time I know I saw you, you were playing the drum sweetly. I know that.
Give
But I
thanks.
could've
Give
sworn I
thanks.
saw
And praise.
you.
I still play the drums. Yes, indeed.
Yes.
And so, Baba, I wanted to share a quite hilarious story that I always thought of whenever I thought of you and your spiritual son, David, because I remember about 5 years ago when I was visiting you, because from time to time I would stop into the studio and Baba and I have elder conversation, and we check up on each other and talk about what's going on in the community. And on this particular day, Heru David was a bit cantankerous, and he was sour, and he was standing there with this sour look on his face, and Baba Heru looked at him and said, "What's the matter with you?" And Baba Heru said, David said, "I'm in hell." Baba Heru said, "Well, who put you there?" David said, "You put me there." Baba Heru said, "You put yourself there." And David just went off muttering to himself. And Baba Heru just went on saying, "How dare you say I put you in hell? You put yourself in hell." And then for the next 10 minutes, Baba Heru was going on talking about how he... And I just sat there quietly. And I realized that this was something between the two of them. From time to time over the years, Baba, I want to let you know, I've thought about that whole thing. It just seemed like the most hilarious thing to me, how he just all of a sudden just said, "I'm in hell." Well, who put you there? You put me there. You put yourself there.
We had quite a few moments like that, I must say, Queen Mother. Father and son going back and forth.
We've never seen anything like that before.
But you know, the love that the two of you have, because of course he is still here. He has just transitioned, is something that is truly wonderful. It showed in the Sa that was created between the two of you.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what is really so funny is that just before Spirit spoke to me and told me to call and check on you this morning, is I was thinking about the term transfiguration. I was watching something on YouTube, and the brother who was talking about being a geek, and you know, quite honestly, all of us up in here are geeks. We're geeks, we're nerds, because that's what we are. If you're in this legacy, then we're all just a bunch of eggheads, okay? We're all intelligent, and it's required pretty much if you are a part of this legacy, because of the fact that we're passionate about learning, and it's part of the calling. And so I was watching this documentary this morning, and it was talking about the legacy and also about the term transfiguration. And I thought about Keper and the whole art also of transformation. And I thought about how that is required when it comes to creating Sa. And I thought of the work that you and Baba Heru David did together. and what is required with doing that energy work. And then to find out from that 3 weeks ago, he had made his transition. My goodness. The legacy that the two of you have left behind. And what you poured into him in training him to do this sacred work. Oh my goodness, oh my. Du'a to you for all that you have done in training him, and for all of the lives that you have touched by the energy that was poured into him and to every piece of Sa. Du'a, Baba. My heart goes out to you. Our community feels every bit of your joy and pain. And all I can do is say how much I admire you for everything that you have done. And for all of us, in this moment of Simatawi, of unification, I say, let us continue this great union. Let us continue this celebration. Yes, we are mourning, but in this transformation energy that we are experiencing right now, let us continue to turn this mourning into joy and the continuous change that we're experiencing in the growth and also in the, what's the word that I want to use? The uplifting, the exaltation of the Kemetic legacy. Let us continue. Let us continue. Let us continue.
Dua, Queen Mother, Imaku. Dua,
My
dua.
beloved brother Jabari.
Yes.
A pleasant surprise. My beloved Sakara wants to say something.
Oh, yes. Okay.
So please allow her, please.
Okay, let me turn this around.
Yes, by all means.
Greetings, everyone.
Greetings.
Yes. Well, I'm so glad we're all here together. You know, it's under unusual circumstances, but I'm so happy to see all the love, all the myrrh, and all the good memories of my dear brother, Heru David. It took me days and days to get used to the idea that he's no longer here and that I won't have anyone to talk to about movies, Kemet, and the women of Kemet. Anytime I had a question, Heru was always there to give me the answer. So his presence is still here. I can just get quiet and I can still hear him. I can hear his laughter. I can even hear the debates between David and Baba Heru. Because no matter what was going on, it was always love coming from him, always kindness and always helpfulness. He was a supreme offerer of himself. He gave endlessly all day, every day. And he didn't complain. Maybe he vented on the outside, but he always came with a gift of life and of offering. So I just want to give thanks that I knew him, that I experienced him in these last few years that I've been here, and that I miss him. And I'm glad you all are sharing in the myrrh that he brought to us, each individually and collectively. To our
Dua.
Sakara.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for.
And I'm telling you, she's taken some of his responsibility, and I am amazed at her tenacity, her energy, and the myrrh that she brings into this space, and the myrrh that I feel for her and from her. So you must know that she's very special to me, and that's my lady over there, Sakara, named after one of the most profound cities in Kemet. Give thanks and praise.
Dua.
Uncle Justin.
Dua.
I'm wondering
Dua.
if we can hear from our brother Makerutep. Did maybe the tech issue has been resolved, and then we can hear from our brother Heru Unique. Still not able to hear you, dear brother, unfortunately. You know what you could try to do? Maybe you can, on the link, you'll actually see that there are also phone numbers. Maybe as we see you, you can use your phone as well. That might be a way to do this. Or what you can do is you can call me. I'll give you my cell phone number right now, and I'll put it to the microphone because we do want to hear your voice. My number is 646-853-0496. I put it in the chat. You can call me, and then we'll find a way for your voice to be heard. While we're doing that, can we please go to our brother Heru Unique?
What's up, everyone? Can you hear me?
Yes, Hotep, we can hear you.
I guess I got it right.
You did.
Going out, coming back in again. So I give thanks. Man, I don't even know how to start. First, I just want to give honor to Baba Heru and all the elders in the room, and give thanks for everyone that's attending. I'm looking here, it's like 70 people here, 71, I guess, with me. And I just give thanks that everyone has took this time to show their merit to our brother David. I want to say this, Nukpu Inter Harucha. I have to say that because that changed my life back in 2004 when I joined Divine Sacred King Man. And brother David, Heru David, was one of the first people I met when I walked through the door. And when I tell you, just being in that brother's presence is very powerful. His energy, you know, even though he's very mild and meek, but his energy that emitted from him was very powerful to me. And I'm quite sure some of the rest of you as well.
Mm-hmm.
I was going through a lot back then, you know, as a single father, raising 3 children, you know, it was a lot. It was really hard. And Bob will tell you, every single Friday I came to King Man, I left tears on that floor. I left tears. And at the end of every session, there was always Heru David there at the end, just, you know, tightening up everything before. And I've seen it always be one of the last people to leave. And I had many days talking with that brother, and he encouraged me to just hold on and stand strong. Many times I wanted to give up, and he was like, no, brother, just keep moving forward. You know, you're a great man. You know, I mean, doing what you're doing right now, not too many brothers do that. He said, you know, you just stand strong and you'll be all right. And it was deep. It was even more profound and deep to me because the class that I went through, the Heru class, the class number 5, was the class where I heard the word from Baba Heru that says, this is my last Kingsman's class. After this class, no more. And I was like, no, you can't do that to me, Baba. I'm just getting started. And reason why, because the brothers that I was going through with, we had some challenges. We really had a lot of challenges, you know. But I tried to do my best to try to be a leader amongst them all, even with all the challenges that I was going through in my personal life. You know, having that brother David there, dealing with those personal challenges, and then dealing with those challenges of going through Kingsman, man, that helped me. It helped me make it through all the way to the very end. Yes, sir, brother Eric. I see that. It held me strong, you know, and I give thanks. I give thanks for just being on this planet at the time with this brother and the rest of you all as well. You know, I haven't met everybody that's in this chat. Some of you know me, some of you may not have known me or may have heard about me, whatever. But I just give thanks for just being a part of the legacy. And I don't want to say I'm getting choked up here a little bit, but, you know, I just give thanks, you know, that I was able to walk and talk with that brother and experience the time that I shared with him, because it really, really helped me out in my life. I am like so much further in my life right now. And I give thanks to Heru David for being an instrument to help guide me through all of that. So with that said, to our in turn, and Shimotep.
Thank you so much.
It looks like maybe Brother Heru Tap. Oh, looked like your audio was on for a moment.
Jabari, I have to leave, Brother Ali. I have a 6 o'clock, and I know you're going to continue. Is it possible before I leave my big brother Everett, Baba Heru's oldest son? He's on. Can he say a few words? Him and Heru go back over 20 years.
Oh, yes, by all means.
Are you saying you'd like him to speak now is what you're asking? Or
yes, because I got to jump, and I would like to hear my big brother speak.
He's
Baba's
together
oldest son.
With you?
No. He's on right now. He texts me.
Okay.
So he would like to share. I would like to hear my big brother before I jump. I have to leave at 6. Okay. So can Everett speak now, if that's possible, brother?
Okay.
By all means, yes.
We'll allow Everett to speak. Everett, are you there? Brother Everett, are you there?
Come on, bro, show up.
How are you? Uncle Ma'at, how are you?
Hatep, Jabari. It's a late time.
That's a Leighton, right? That's a Leighton. Yes.
Well, we got Everett and Leighton, so we want both my brothers before I jump.
Well,
Everett and Leighton, yeah, that'll be great.
Brother Everett, are you there? Okay. Can we possibly? I want to see, perhaps. Brother, do you need to move? Do you want to speak now? Because we've been waiting to try to hear from Brother Heru Tap for some time as well. But do you need to speak now, Brother Leighton?
Yes.
Absolutely. Well, Makaru Tap, I just want to say, brother, maybe you're muted and you don't realize it.
No,
That's
it's not
probably
mute.
okay.
It's another issue. Yeah, we see
All
his
right, well,
coming in and out.
Well, let him go first. He's been waiting patiently, so I'll cede the floor.
You want to try to see if you can speak? Why
Still
don't you
can't hear him.
Why don't you call me? Call me at the number. Call me. Okay. While you're calling, we're still not hearing you. Your audio is coming in and out. I can see, because sometimes we see your mute button come on and then disappear. So there's a short or something. So you can feel free, call me at the number 646-853-0496. I put it in the chat as well. You can call me there and we'll do it that way. Brother Leighton, in the meantime, would you please?
Absolutely. Hatepu, everyone. Hope everyone is well and
Hatep,
blessed. Hatepu, Baba, much more, much more.
Very much more to you.
I just want to say, as you all know, like, we've known Heru since we were all kids. You know, Heru came into my life in the 90s, the early 90s, and he was a fixture from the jump. The thing about Heru is, just like everyone has all mentioned, you know, someone who just cared a lot about everyone he cared of, everyone that he met, he had a connection with. He built with everyone. He loved people. He was just an amazing, amazing person. And when I heard that he passed, it felt like a sibling passed. And it was very, very, it's still very difficult to deal with, you know. When I went back to the studio and I looked at that chair that he sat in for years and it was empty, it was heartbreaking. But what's really, really important for everyone here to pay attention to and consider is we can all be healthy, we can all take care of our bodies, but if we're not paying attention and taking out, and if we're not going to take care of ourselves fully by, I know we don't like to hear the word medical healthcare industry in this society, but I know what it's done to our people. But I just want to communicate to everyone here that one of the reasons why we're doing this is because he didn't go to the hospital when we all knew that he needed to go. And I just would like to encourage everyone here, because that's one of the things that kills us more than, well, not more than anything, but one of the things that takes us out of here a lot is our distrust and our inability to take care of ourselves beyond like the food that we eat. And it's important that we go to people we trust for these medical issues that we have, and be seen and be heard, and communicate what's going on, because honestly, he should be here today, and he would have been here today if he took certain steps. And I want you all to know that it's important for you all to consider this. This is, you know, some of us think things were a hoax. Some of us thought all kinds of nonsense. It's clearly not a hoax, because we're all here in grief because of a virus. It's not a hoax. It was never a hoax. And this is proof of that. So if you needed any proof, this is it. Please take care of yourself. Please go get looked at. Don't allow just salads to be your medication only. That's all I have to say about that. Much more to all of you. Heru was an amazing individual, and I hope he serves as an example for us to take care of ourselves fully. Hatepu, everyone.
Hatepu, son, thank you so much. That's my boss, by the way.
Our dear brother, I don't see you with my own
Come
eyes.
in today, please.
The pandemic has
I'll see you later.
And I just have to say, it's good to see you, and it's good to know that you're still out there. And we're thinking about you too, our dear brother.
Much more. Same here, Jabari.
Much more.
I hope Anika is in the Heights as well. I miss her too.
You know, you're one of our favorite people, so.
Absolutely. Love you both. Much more to you both. You know, I got to deal with the public. You know, I don't play. Right. You know, yeah. I didn't get jabs until late. You want to know something? I got vaccinated after hearing of the news. That was my wake up call. So, but yeah, this mask kept me safe for the last 2 years. I had to deal with the public and get on trains, so I wasn't playing with it. It was never a hoax to me. So I'm just glad to be with you all as well.
Wow. And thank you for your words, because it is something we need to consider. So
thank you so much.
People that want to speak. I know that we have our brother Everray on. If he could say something briefly, because I don't know how this audio on a phone is going to work, but let's give this a try. This is our brother Everray. Can you hear us, brother Everray?
Yes, I can. Hello?
Yes. Can you all hear him?
I can hear him.
We can hear him.
Yeah, I can hear him. I can hear him.
Please go ahead and speak, brother Everray.
First of all, I'd like to thank everyone who's here today to recognize my brother. My brother and I, we had a very, very special type of relationship. He basically did the work that I grew up doing and helping my father execute doing the running around, buying groceries for my father. He also did something that I was unable to do. He had an incredible amount of tolerance and humility. And we used to always bump into one another, because sometimes I would come down there in the jewelry district and I would do some work, and I would always see him when I come. And we would always have an in-depth conversation. He would tell me about certain things, and I would share with him certain things. And those things I will keep amongst us, because the brother's still with me. And he will always be with me. And he will always be at the studio. And I appreciate him. And I told him I love him. And when I had my boys with me, I had my boys hug him and tell him thank you for the service that he was doing. But he did beyond service. As I said, humility and tolerance is what this brother exuded. And I would like to say this. We must be mindful, including myself, on how we deal and treat people. And that would be the last thing I say. Hotep.
Hotep, dua so much for your words. It is powerful to hear from another one of the children of Baba Heru. Dua to you, my brother, and we'll be in. I'm locking your phone in. We can be in communication further too. Okay. All right. Shema Ma'at. So I'd like now to go, if I can, to the chief priestess of the Temple of Anu. I'm hoping that Priestess Mbara is still here. We were hoping that we could hear from her. The Temple of Anu is a sister shrine of the Shrine of Ma'at. We know that Baba Heru, it plays an important role there as well. Together, we have been trying to hold aloft the Kemetic tradition in this side. And so we want to hear from our sister who is doing so much important work in the area. Sister Mbara.
Uncle Ma'at. Can you hear me?
Uncle Ma'at. We can hear you.
Oh, there she is.
So on answer. Yes. Uncle Ma'at, everyone.
Uncle Ma'at.
Doanetta, I'm very, very grateful to be able to be here. Very grateful to be able to hear everyone's incredible words. I first want to wish Uncle Jasaneb to our elder, the elder of all of us, Baba Heru. Baba, we mur you. We uplift your name every single day. We send you energy today and always. I want to wish Uncle Jasaneb to Hemneta Jabari and Hemet Ur Anika and the entire Shrine of Ma'at. I want to thank you all for creating and holding this sacred space for all of us today and allowing us to take the opportunity to uplift the name of our spiritual brother. I myself did not know Heru David very well. He was a constant presence in every time that we found ourselves sharing space with Baba at the studio. His presence, it just felt he was always there, and it felt that he would always be there. To hear all of you share your experiences and your stories reminds us of how much we impact one another and how much we touch each other's lives, even in those small moments that feel insignificant, in those small moments that seem fleeting. Every single moment and every single interaction is a gift. It is an opportunity for us to treasure, and our memories are sacred to us. The laughter that we shared is sacred. The joy that we shared is sacred. And I know that he felt your love, your sincerity, your kindness, and your friendship to his heart. And I know that because I can feel how much you all felt his love and his kindness and his friendship in your heart in all of the words that you're sharing today. So on behalf of Nasibidi Rason Kukeper and the entire Temple of Anu, we want to wish Heru David a swift and safe journey to the west. May he join his righteous ancestors of the light. May Heru welcome him with light in her heart. May the Netter Inpu take him by the hand and guide him along the way. May his heart be found to be light as a feather, and may he be found justified before Asar. And may Heru David live forever by the memory of his name. Dua Netter. Amen Ma'at.
Dua Netter.
It is always wonderful when we get to hear from the chief priestess of the Temple of Anu, who has been bringing so many of us and really cultivating community so amazingly. So during this pandemic, we have not seen her face in person as much, although I have seen the amazing things she's doing on Facebook. We miss you. Hopefully we'll see you soon. We mur you. We mur you.
Mur you and Anika. Looking forward to seeing you all this summer.
Yes. Dua. Can we please also, I think I see that our Sen Orlando has had his hand raised since last Wednesday. Sen Orlando, dua for your patience. Kingman, could you please share? And I also see Sen Eric with his hand raised. And I know that we also have Senson Jetty also wants to say something as well. Could you please? The hour is getting late. We won't be here much longer. Please, if you'd like to say something, let us know now. Send Orlando, please.
I want to Heru Kaab, Hamid Ra. I'd like to give my myrrh and Seneb to the Baba, my elder Roosevelt Gainey, and Harry Kafra. Amin Ra. Heru David, we shared a birthday that we didn't know for quite a few years. And from that point, I took him on as my even more intently. The 7 days up until his transition, we spoke. And he did what he wanted to do. He went home and he made his transition. I'd like to offer this Hesse in honor of Keriab Heru David, because that's what he was. That's what he is. That's what he represents. He went unnoticed in title, but he walked the halls of many temples and influenced many beings. This song, this has you are Ray, you've been in Kudates in Hey, you are Ray, Kef, Hotep, in Kudates, Amen. And the sword and the cherub and the Heru. And the Shara, Ifahim Kekira, Ram Tamam Necheru, Aku Hesmutet, Suta Ru, Sutan Ru. Send the chair, Heru David, my good brother, my friend. Yeah.
Dua, brother Orlando. Dua so much, and dua for giving Hesse to our dear brother. We know that his divine soul has been fed. Dua, dua, dua. Words. I would love to come next to our brother Sen Eric, please. I know that you've had your hand raised for some time, and then next we'll go to Sen Sanjeti Ankara. Hopefully, we'll go to him next, please. Sen Eric.
Okay, my aunts, my brothers, my sisters. Oh man. Heru David. There have been many times that me Heru David. I think it would be Asar, brother Kapra Atum. We all be at the shrine late at night on Sunday, just chatting it up and just be building. Talk about the net rules, and the significance. And the one thing that kind of like weighs on my heart right now. Sorry, I'm getting kind of emotional. There been times
we're with you, brother. We're with you.
There been times I was trying to keep in contact with Heru David. I will call him. I will try to email him, and I don't know. The brother will never get back to me. So when I heard about what happened, and brother Kapra Atum had called me, it took me 5 hours. I mean, literally 5 hours to call back Kapra Atum, because in a sense I understand in death, because through Comedics 101 and Divine Security, I understood death, but this thing just took me by surprise, I should say. And it right now it hurts me. I apologize right now. It's like I'm like truly hurt, but things happen, for a reason. I know Brother Haru David right now is probably on a boat to Ra. Breaking down many of the sciences and everything. I'm not gonna say too much because right now I'm something like to get like teary-eyed right now. Pardon me. And that's all for me, brothers. Uncle Johnson,
Uncle Johnson.
One more thing to Brother Jabari, man. You be setting everything on fault them, brother, though. But Jabari, keep the good work, brother. Keep the good work. I'll be watching you on some letter, man. Oh, man.
Send me Jabari. We'll chat.
Yeah, I got your back, brother. If anything goes on, I got your back. I'm gonna come and see you one day, brother.
I appreciate you, brother.
No problem. Uncle Johnson, what's up?
Uncle Johnson, can our brother Sanjeti, we would love to hear from you next, and then we'll go to My Sacred King Man, Blue Quantum Leap next, and then the priest, Asar Merriaman, will come to him next, who I just was spent time with yesterday. Can we please go? I'm sorry? I'm not saying that yet. Can we please go to my dear brother, Sanjeti, the scribe of the Temple of Anu?
All right. Ankama Iyamatep, everyone. Thank you for having me. And thank you for Dua. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to dedicate the Hotep Dinasut at the beginning of the service. It's my honor to honor, our brother, my friend. I want to relay one of the experiences I had with the brother. We had many experiences. Anyone knows me knows that I can talk. Anyone who knows Brother David knows that he can talk too. Put it together. And I loved his energy. It's a kindred brotherly energy. So one of the times went over to see Baba. David was in the back, where in the workshop part, where you have thousands of pieces all around you, all the molds. And I was back there, and him and I were just talking while he was working his craftsmanship. And here you have the craftsman and the scribe talking, building. And we had a debate. Him and I, we had many debates, but it's always love. It's always love. That's why I look forward to debating with him, because it was love. It was always love. And at the end of one of our exchanges, we were talking about Kemetic community and how different conflicts that we'll have, people don't talk to each other. And him and I were using the example of the fact that him and I could have different positions, but we have that that love for each other still, regardless, no love lost. And I want to take things that he said, the things that we shared, and use that as a lesson for Kemetic community now. There's not a lot of us.
No.
It's not. We can't afford to have just dissension between us. Even if we have different positions, if you have a disagreement with a person, make ma'at with that person. Do your best. Make effort. You may have done an offense to a person in the past. You may not know it, etc. That person say, hey, this happened. Try to make balance with that person, especially in the Kemetic community. Remember, this is a conversation him and I had, because we can't afford to not network with each other. We can't afford it. We are one man down, but one person up in the ancestral realm. He was a tree, that brother is a tree.
Mm-hmm.
So, he is a venerate, he is an imaku. And of course, we have to put together the Stella of Heru David.
Mm-hmm.
The Stella of Heru David. So let's take that lesson that I reflect from something that him and I shared. Many of you shared it as well. Let's make peace with each other on every level. And because we have disagreements, let's not let that make us part ways. because we're in the same community. We're in the same community, and we have to be together, even if it's just business.
Right.
And if we have conflicts, just keep them private, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
But when we're in public, we need to show unity together. We need to show unity. And that's one of the things that Heru David, one of his messages to me as my big brother, who's my big brother, that he said to me in one of our mini building sessions. I'm going to miss him. I'm going to miss him. Let's call his name. Let's call his name frequently. Give offerings, hetapu, to him. Hetapu to him.
Dua. Dua so much for those
Dua,
important words on how we should behave. Dua, 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 to our brother son Jedi, who I know was quite close to Heru David. Heru David, the last conversation I had with him, he mentioned you. So I know that the two of you were speaking extensively. So can I say dua, dua, dua once again? I want to go to our Sacred Kingman, Luke Contumleap, who has had his hand raised for a while. And then we'll go to our Mariamen in a moment as well. I'm trying to get as many as you as possible. I see your hand, Nit Heru. Let's try to be concise so we can get as many folks in. The hour is getting late. Please, our dear brother, Luke Contumleap.
Salute, family.
Salute.
Hotep to everybody out there.
Hotep. Hotep.
Love and light to you, Baba Heru.
Baba.
Another of your sons have taken flight, and I know, as well as our community knows, that you have provided wings for so many. And I know that Heru David soars greatly. And I know that your connection is something that none of us really could understand how divinely aligned that is. And I know it is it's a phantom limb to you not to have him there in the physical. So I salute Heru David because he is my sacred brother, and we went through our pylons together. And we spoke nothing but strength and power. Our Heru together was nothing but Heru Kuti. We spoke nothing but power together. And I always appreciated our dynamic exchanges and the truth that we could share. And I know right now when I speak, he knows my tone is so directly to him because we didn't play games with our conversations. And so I send a huge Ankh salute to him for his contribution to our community and to his such direct, indirect contribution to all of our lives in terms of the sa that we wear. I send infinite healing out to all of us who are moving in this time and who need the power up. And know that we are given these concepts, precepts, we are given these words of power in this hekau so that we can move through these times with confidence. And that is one of the characteristics of Heru David, which was confidence. Knowing who he was and who he is and how to walk in this time. I always saluted that about my brother. You know, so I send that, you know, directly to him. To all my family, y'all stay up, you know, and y'all keep your light in the heights. You know, keep your light in the heights. Nuk pu amiku kemam keperu im hau onk uchak seneb. Bless up, family. Bless up, Baba Heru. Much love.
Dua, King Man. Dua, dua, dua.
Much family.
Kaeb.
Much love, Jabari. Much
Heru
love.
Kaeb.
Uncle Ma, y'all.
Can we please, first of all, let me say dua for those words, dua for those words.
Heru Kaeb, are you there?
I'm here, Baba.
Yes.
Please speak.
He just did speak. He just
Hear
did.
me, Baba?
He just did, Baba.
I'll say some more because hey.
Listen, we have other folks that are online that have been waiting.
No, I did not know you spoke.
He actually also gave beautiful Hesi as well.
Okay, good.
Yes. Can we please?
All right, Baba.
Can we? The hour is getting late. I want to make sure people are leaving. I want to make sure that we are still closing in good stead. I would love to come to the Kingman and Priest, Abu Asar Mariamen. He has been waiting patiently, and I know that he wants to say something about our dear brother. Please, Abu.
Yes, absolutely. Baba, do I have the? Could I speak, Baba? Do I?
Yes.
Uncle Maat, to everyone. Wow.
Sarian.
This has been a blow. When I heard the news, it just went straight to my heart. We know as far as the highest intelligence is located within the heart, the hati. That is the heart is weighed on the scales along with the feather. Ever since I've met Davi, I knew that our hearts were connected in so many ways. Spiritual warriors in the craft, spiritual warriors in the path. And we would talk very, how would I say, I know when me and Bob will always talk, he would also interject. And the words that resonates from his mouth is so powerful to the point where it just really connected mostly to the heart. The mind just gave in, and the heart was the where the intelligence and where we connected and where his words resonated spiritually in my soul. And I thank him for that. And I thank Nichair for actually allowing us to share presence, all of us to share presence with him. He meant so much to all of us. And that he became a bridge and a connection to all of us. So now we have something that we can, and I had no idea also, Baba, I had no idea that he was actually praying over the sides. So now I know that his presence will always be with me, because you know I got so many sides from you, Baba. And I will feel protected in every way now, knowing that he is there, he's present. So dua to that. And I also want to, I think Orlando had beat me to the Hakah, and I would like to say a nice Hakah praise and song for him. Duare keft ubenefem kut ibtetin pet. Duare kefta tepin patament. In asar on the chair hatep himne cheru nebu. In asar on the chair hatep himne cheru nebu. Inejarak Ithaim Keperaim ibonecheru Kakubenek pesmukathi Imsutineteru Nasutinebu Duare Kef ubenefem kut iptetin pet. Uorei kef totepin poto men. Inosor on cheratep himnecheru nebu. Inosor on cheratep himnecheru nebu. Dua nete.
Dua,
Imakeru.
dua.
Heri Davi. Imakeru. Heri Davi.
Oh, dua, dua.
Imakeru. Heru Davi.
Dua. Dua, dua for your beautiful Hesi. I see that there's another Kingman that would like to speak. Our Kingman, Nit Heru, who I used to see regularly and I don't see as much anymore.
Speakers.
Perhaps Heru David has decided that the Kingmen should see each other more. It is wonderful to see all of your faces.
Sure. Wow.
Let us hear from our Kingman, Nit Heru.
To winter. Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Yes.
Okay, let's making sure. Okay. Yes, so I mean Heru David, I know he's in a better place. You know, I know he's in a place of bliss, a place of joy. You know, I learned a lot from him, you know, from years. I mean, I know Heru David years ago. You know, we met years ago at the Kemetic Temple, at the Heal Thyself, Know Thyself Center. You know, and I learned a lot from the brother. You know, he put me onto a lot of books to study and to read. You know, I attended some of his classes that he had at the Heal Thyself, Know Thyself Center. You know, we spend a lot of good times. You know, we share a lot of good moments together. You know, I was definitely shocked that he made this transition a few weeks ago. Yeah, I was pretty surprised. Last time I saw him, was in the summer, last year summer. Actually, I ran into him at a supermarket last year summer. You know, we spoke for a minute, you know, and he was pretty full, you know, up in a good mood, you know, good spirit. So, you know, really surprising to me that he was, you know, I didn't know he wasn't feeling well. You know, I didn't know he was going through sickness and all that, you know. I mean, if I knew, I would definitely give him some word of encouragement, you know, to go and check it out, you know. You got to go to the hospital just to see what's going on. Just go, you know. But yeah, I mean, I used to work with him too at the studio at Pata for a few years, you know, so we share that moment together as well. But yeah, he's very, very, I mean, very, you know, very strong brother, you know, definitely a soldier. Definitely a soldier. I know he's in a better place because you could always look for people who met him in person. You look into his eyes, you know, he's always in a transcendental state, you know, not too much into the material realm, the material world, you know. So I figure, you know, he probably got tired of the material world and was ready to make his transition. You know, yeah, he's always in a state of trance. You know, strong brother.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I figure he ready to make that transition, you know?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, sometimes it's time for us to make that transition, and we have to make peace with ourselves to make that transition, you know. So he's be deeply and greatly missed,
Yes.
you know.
Dua. Dua, dear brother.
To our winter.
Wow,
And it is wonderful to see you. I haven't seen you with my own eyes in a long time. It's wonderful to see you, and it's wonderful to see you all. We do have one final person I'd like to speak, and that's Brother Dan Atan, who would like to say something, and then we'll allow Baba Heru to say a word or two at the end, and we'll close with the Hesi from the couple that is part of the Shrine of Ma'at and is so moved by the tradition that they created a Hesi specifically for him. So please, Brother Dan Atan. Brother Dan?
Can you hear me, family? You can hear me?
You're a little bit low, but we can hear you. If you speak up a bit.
All right, I'll try to speak up. Baba, pleasure. Good to see you. Good to hear you. Good to know that you're well.
We're not hearing you, brother.
How about now? Can you hear me any bit?
If you get a little closer to the microphone.
Yeah, how about now? You hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. Greetings, family. Hotep, Unks and Mur, Baba Heru. Good to see you. Good to hear you. Know that you're well. Thank you. Stand here today in honor of you and in tribute to you, as well as my brother, because I give thanks for you introducing me to him. Give thanks for you shedding a light for me and him, and for all of the brothers that were able to participate in the murder that y'all shared with us. For my brother Heru, David, definitely, this may have been an opportunity not just to bring the King Men back into alignment, but I know I miss all of you brothers and my sisters. I mean, whenever the community can get together, it's a pleasure for me and my family. But even under these circumstances, I thank Heru David, I thank the spirit of Heru David for allowing us these moments to reflect, to share, to give thanks, and for the myrrh to be spread the way that it was intended to. So at his sacrifice for the wellness that he put forth, that he continually put forth, I know he will always be remembered for those things, his undying giving. So for me, he will live on forever. It's good to see you all. Thank you, continuing the legacy of love and myrrh, Unks and Hotep.
Dua so much. Can I say to you all, men, please do not be remiss. Put your number and your email in the chat, please. It is due time. We have lost several of our grouping and not added to our grouping, and it's time for us to meet with our elder and figure out how we can add new members to our group. We've lost another, and they will assist us also in the ancestral realm. So with that, can I please ask our elder to say a few closing words, and then we'll also go out on the Hesi created by the couple, the Chafers in Ghana, who created a Hesi for our dear brother, Heru David. Please.
You know, in the spiritual life, we have the freedom to delve into other spaces. I want you to know, and I know it may sound woo-woo to many of you, but I'm a star traveler, have been for years. When I first visited the pyramid fields at Giza, I was walking around and the guide said, "Wait a minute, you know where you're going?" I said, "Exactly, I know where I'm going." Because I've used some of the chapters of transformation into Heru, in the pyramid text and in the Peritim Heru, and I'm a star traveler. When I visit the islands, I can see the sky so clear because there are no electric lights where I stay. and I travel on Sa Orion. I see my mother Astsepedet, Sirius, and I travel on the wind, and I whistle as I travel. And I like to make this offering to my beloved brother, Heru David, my spiritual son. Hetepu.
Hetepu, Hetepu.
Tapu.
Family, I know you may feel grief. I know you may need solace. Please let us remember that Heru David no longer needs to get on the train, no longer needs to get on the bus to see you. In a light to your location at a moment's notice. And you know how much he loved each and every one of you. He is here with us. He is by our elder's side on his shoulder. They'll be bickering tonight. Because our elder needed to keep our brother in line, and our brother had to always give his opinion. They loved each other infinitely, and you know that he is nowhere else than standing at his side, at his right hand, right
So
now.
true.
You know this. So please feel his warmth, receive his wisdom. He will be whispering in your ear this evening. Just remember that it is in his commitment to the legacy that we find our greatest standard. We must all find ourselves to be Heru David today. I want to say I murr you all, and we will go out with the Hesi created by the couple who felt so moved by him, although they had never met him. I want you to just hear what they have done and make sure that we are promising that we will continue to meet, to share, and to give each other myrrh. With that, I want to say, Shem and Ma'at, go forth in divine balance. And please remember to give some myrrh to our elder. Please remember to give some myrrh to our elder, because he will also need it this time. I believe that Heru David's sister had to leave. Please make sure that you tried to reach out and give her some myrrh as well. Shem and Ma'at to you all. Please listen to the Hesi for Heru David.
O great one who became sky, every place is filled with your beauty. O strong one who gives strength from on high, every place is filled with your beauty. Almighty one, there is none like you. Every place is filled with your beauty. You possess the whole of the earth as if you stretch beneath you. You adorn the earth and all the things in your arms. Please take this guardian to be an indestructible spark within you. O great one who became sky, every place is filled with your beauty. O strong one who gives strength from on high, every place is filled with your beauty. Almighty one, there is none like you. Every place is filled with your beauty. Please take this time. Please take this body. Please take this body. Please take this body. Please take this body to be an indestructible spark within you. Oh, great one who begins mighty one, there is none like you. Your face is filled with your beauty. Your face is filled with your beauty. Strong one who gives strength to all. Your mighty one, there is none like you. Your face is filled with your beauty.
Family, I want to say that we admire you so much. We say dua to you all for being here. Please make sure that we gather for reasons other than when one of our coterie become an imperishable star. Sacred Kingman, please don't forget to put your numbers and your email in the chat. We'll make sure that this gathering, which has been recorded, is posted to YouTube, and you will be able to access it once more to hear the memorial, to see the memorial for our divine ancestor, Heru David.
Kumra kumra kumera kumera ra. Kumra ra kumera kumeru ra ra. Kumra kumra kumeru ra kumeru ra ra. Kumra 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 kumerura
Woo, 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 woo. We admire you.
Rucha.
All family.
Dua,
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 dua.
divine balance. Shema
Stay in the heights. Stay in the heights.
Tim Hatep.